in for Baccarat, and that goes in! Hugo Baccarat gives Flint City a 3-2. Buckley, the ball falls to Buckley. One-on-one with Etheridge. What a save!
Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for girls soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrett.
Ball comes in, a good hit! 1-0! Shot, another save from Etheridge! Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0! Burzma, but then for Vlasma! 3-0! Stuart Heiss with a shot!
Well, welcome back to the Trinity Sports Dome here on the campus of Schoolcraft College of Livonia, Michigan. This is National Academy League on the National Soccer Network. Game number 2 is underway. Michigan Wolves, Vardar, rivalry night. Two story clubs battling in the Mid-American North Conference of the NAL. Game number 1 in the U17 division just completed about 15 minutes ago. Michigan Wolves were all over their counterparts from Vardar. The 5-0 victory. They scored a goal 15 seconds in and did not let up in that contest. We'll see if Vardar can fare much better in game number 2. Here in the U19 level, we're just 40 seconds into number 1, game number 2. Dan Stickrett, the Director of News with the National Soccer Network. Glad to be on the call for today's doubleheader. Wolves come out in attack mode in game number 2. Switching fields already, knocking the ball around. Watterson, number 2, one of the state's better juniors. He did not play on Sunday in the Michigan Wolves' contest. Back in uniform here tonight. Buck 45 in, no shots so far. Michigan Wolves, Vardar, U19 of NAL. Lots of action here on the National Soccer Network all afternoon, all evening, past the midnight hour. Different levels of the U.S. Soccer Pyramid. We got the League for Clubs, Women's Premier Soccer League, Midwest Premier League, American Premier Soccer League, here the National Academy League. Much more from California to New Jersey and everywhere in between. Busy time of year. Club soccer circuit still in full effect. A lot of the amateur pre-professional leagues, which is college players home for the summer. Players just out of college, their seasons are kicking off. Multitude of different leagues. Thursday night we called a game in the USL League 2, which featured 2 other Michigan teams, Midwest United, Union SC Macomb. A lot of the USLW teams across the country also kick off their 2025 seasons this week, as Vardar has a free kick not too far inside midfield here in the 4th minute. Ball served high and long. Goes off the head of a Vardar forward, so out of bounds. Goal kick coming up for the Wolves. Feel free to visit our YouTube channel. Who's going to win tonight's contest? Select the Wolves, Vardar, or if the game will end in a draw. Will last until about 20 minutes left in the contest. Those of you who were not part of the first game of this 2-game set, which finished about 20-25 minutes ago, Michigan Wolves 5-0 victors over Vardar in the U17 NAL contest. No score here in the U19 division between these two storied youth club programs. Michigan Wolves started back in the 1970s. Vardar came around in the mid-1980s. A lot of history with these two clubs. They've done extremely well. Multitude of layers of club soccer. Both clubs have won multitude of national championships, USYS levels. Michigan Wolves have earned a corner kick. Watterson plays it short. The ball served into the box, kind of bouncing around inside the mixing bowl. Vardar able to clear on that rush. And there's a long through ball. Michigan Wolves defender able to stop that before any danger is had. Michigan Wolves retain possession, getting the ball out near midfield. Teams applying a lot of high pressure on the other side's defense. 5.5 minutes in, no score. Michigan Wolves and Vardar. Dan Stickrat from the National Soccer Network on the solo call this evening. There's a slight shove in the back, so free kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves. The ball served long from the Wolves side of the pitch. The Wolves have numbers on that left side. Serve into the box. Vardar able to clear before the Wolves can get any type of shot attempt off. No shots thus far, no corner kicks, 6.5 minutes in. Owen Buckley there on that left side gets the ball over to Rourke Watterson just outside the box. And there's a left-footed shot just wide of target. First shot attempt of the game goes to the Michigan Wolves, but not on frame. It's Randy Lopez, the goalkeeper for Vardar, jogging over to get the ball. Take the goal kick. Vardar on the move, trying to get the ball into the middle of the field. Vardar's U19 team applying a little bit more pressure than their U17 counterparts. I mentioned a few minutes ago, Michigan Wolves won that U17 contest 5-0. Scoring the goal 15 seconds in and dominating throughout the entire match. That was a 5-0 victory. It could have been much, much worse. Linda Chavez, the goalkeeper for Vardar in that U17 game, kept the game close. It was still 2-0 in the 69th minute. Vardar could not withstand the pressure down the stretch as the Wolves. Here's an opportunity for Vardar, blocked by a Wolves defender, so Vardar getting the ball in behind the defense. The Wolves quick to recover. Their first shot attempt was blocked by a defender, but Vardar putting some pressure on here early in the 9th minute. The Wolves building it out of their back line, trying to find a little bit of space to operate in. The Wolves set it deep. Watterson on the move. The ball stripped by a Vardar defender. Number 18, Leo Comfort, Rochester High School junior, there to make the swipe. Let's get the ball served into the box and line on the left side. Defense withstands that attack, unable to get the shot off. Vardar quick to get the ball over midfield. This game is somewhat even here in the first 10 minutes. We just crossed into minute number 11 here on the National Soccer Network. Dan Stickrad on the call. Glad you're with us here on your Saturday evening. National Academy League regular season play. Both these clubs have MLS Next programs as well. There's a huge tournament on the East Coast with MLS Next. And the teams battling out there in a late season tournament. We're here in the National Academy League. We're still in regular season play. This game is still scoreless. Stalemate at 0-0, 10.5 minutes in. Trying to find a little bit of space along that far left side. Anderson slips it into the box. No one there to make a run. Lopez scoops it up and sends it down his near sideline. Michigan Wolves quick to intercept. The Wolves picking up the pace a little bit here in the 12th minute. It's a serve to the far side. Again cleared by Vardar. Pressure offensively, a lot of high pressure defensively. Now getting the opposition a lot of real estate to operate in. You see Owen Buckley with the ball on that right side. Dangerous player from Brighton High School, two-time All-State forward. Talked about that last weekend. He helped the Bulldogs reach the Division I state finals back in November of 2023. They lost in double overtime to Troy Athens. But Buckley sends in the Rourke Watterson, who knocks it back into the middle of the park. Joshua Jacob with the ball. It's a long serve into the box, headed high. There's a scissor kick, but that ball is well high, but Buckley in traffic. Tries to do the scissor kick. Didn't quite have enough room to pull it off. Michigan Wolves starting to create a little bit of buzz, a little bit extra pressure on that back line of Vardar. That chip through traffic by Joshua Jacob, out of bounds. So goal kick coming up for Vardar. Randy Lopez, number 1, between the pipes for Vardar here this evening. So Chicken Kangaroo on her message boards and on her YouTube channel, he's predicting a 100% guaranteed draw in this game. We stand right now 13.5 minutes in, 0-0. Arch rivals Vardar Michigan Wolves in the U19 division. Wolves picked up the pace here as of late, trying to get that first goal. Push the ball over to the far side to Nyembo, into traffic. Ball bouncing around in the mixing bowl. There's Watterson just outside the box. He's trying to find some space to get it back in. A little bit of a love tap, a little bit of shove by a Vardar defender results in a free kick. This is only about 3 or 4 yards right of the penalty box. Warwick Watterson, the Parma Western High School junior, set to take this set piece. To bend in a left-footed cross in the box and make a little magic happen for the Michigan Wolves. 14.5 minutes in. On the National Soccer Network, Dan Stickrad on the call. As Watterson gets ready, he slips it high and wide to that far post. Cleared by Vardar, but not too far away. All served in again, knocked away. The Wolves, they have numbers in the box trying to push it through that crowded real estate. Vardar finally able to clear. So the Wolves unable to get a shot off of that after Warwick Watterson served into the box. 4 different players got a touch on it. Even Benjamin Cook, the Livonia Churchill Jr. So along that left side, he was unable to get a shot off as well. But the Wolves, here in the last 2 or 3 minutes, have picked up the pace. They've started to control possession of this game, keeping Vardar's back line of midfielders on their heels. Vardar picks up the steal. Number 21, Jacob Summerfield. His tall, lanky frame to swipe the pass with the Wolves, get it back off the throw in. Slide it down that far left side. Lopez able to clear it out towards midfield, but much like this first game, Vardar's having a hard time getting the ball out of their half of the field. The Wolves keep retaining possession off those clears. Rainbow flicks it into the box. Watterson makes a run, but Lopez clears it out of harm's way. Wolves just inside their own half of the field will build again. 16.5 minutes in, so the 17th minute here on the National Soccer Network. Dan Stickrad along for the ride. Game number 2 for those who just joined us. In U17 contest was entered about 7:50 p.m. Michigan Wolves all over rival Vardar 5-0, and here in game number 2 in the U19 level, still a 0-0 stalemate. Michigan Wolves just a 2-1 shots advantage. No shots on goal and no corner kicks thus far, as the Wolves applying pressure once again down that far left side. The ball slotted into the middle. Nyambo's shot is blocked. Adrian Nyambo, the Detroit Country Day senior, found a little bit of space. He turned and fired a left-footed shot that was blocked. Free kick coming up off the offsides for Vardar. Vardar squad is coached by Stephen Arce, Joel Tessif, the assistant, and Scott Toole, the head coach of the U19 side for the Michigan Wolves. He's assisted by Ken Shingledecker, Joseph Zawicki, and Edward McCarthy. 4 veterans to the soccer scene here in southeastern Michigan. Vardar picks off that ball on that far near side. Bouncing around like a ping pong ball, is all being played by players from both sides. Vardar able to finally clear it. The Wolves get it back, so on the far right side. Ball served towards the goal mouth, with Vardar again able to make kind of a desperation clear, knocks it out of harm's way. Offside flag did go up, so the second time the Michigan Wolves have been whistled for offsides here in this new U19 game. We are now crossing into the 20th minute, 0-0 Michigan Wolves really starting to keep pressure that back line. Nyambo's shot just over the crossbar. Nyambo stands about 6'2", 6'3". He's got a lot of speed, very dangerous player. All-stater for Detroit Country Day this past fall on the high school circuit. Watterson knocking around. He's one of their field generators in the center midfield position. Small in stature, big on talent. Vardar's finally getting the ball into the final third of the field. The Wolves standing strong defensively. There is a foul. So over by the Michigan Wolves bench, Vardar should have a free kick. Referee a little late on that whistle. There was some contact. Vardar kind of sent it in. The referee did find both whistles. The ball is pulled back. Looks to be right near the touchline, about 40 yards or so away from that net. Vardar sends it into the box. Ball bounced on in danger there. Vardar just one shot attempt here in the first 20.5 minutes. Michigan Wolves have more of the edge in terms of possession, but just a 2-to-1 shots advantage in the game thus far. Wolves again apply some pressure on that back line of Vardar. There's Watterson dancing through traffic over to Nyambo. Nyambo sends it through the goal crease. He knocks that cross away. Vardar able to recover. Michigan Wolves have had a lot of activity in that final third of the field here in the first 21 minutes. Just one shot on target as that backline for Vardar has been bending but not breaking so far. Randy Lopez, some quality goalkeeping between the pipes for his Vardar side. On our poll on the YouTube channel, 75% of the fans are picking the Michigan Wolves to win this contest in U19. 17% say Vardar win this game, and the rest is predicting a draw. That's where we stand on that, up in that scoreboard, 22.5 minutes in. Still 0-0. Vardar makes a trio of substitutions. So Randy Lopez in goal for Vardar. Jacob Sievert, the Detroit Catholic Central senior, in goal for the Michigan Wolves. Catholic Central, a state powerhouse here in the state of Michigan. They have sent a ton of players to the Wolves over the years and vice versa. Catholic Central, they've won at least a district championship in each of the last 4 high school seasons. The Final Four back in 2022. This past fall, they lost in the regional semis Oxford in a shootout. Sievert was one of the goalkeepers for CC last fall. Michigan Wolves try to start to build the ball out of their back. It's Watterson sliding the ball on the far left side. 3-on-3 with the Wolves. Sent over to that near side. There's a rifle on net. Number 15. Landon Bordage with that shot just right into the arms of Randy Lopez, the netminder for Vardar. Bourdais got to open a little bit on that right side. A lot of pace on that shot, just right at the goalkeeper. The Wolves earn it back right away. Bourdais sends it into traffic off a defender of Vardar. Wolves get it back once again. They have been the more aggressive team here in the last 10 to 12 minutes. 25th minute on the National Soccer Network. Still 0-0, all level on the scoreboard. The Wolves get set for a pair of substitutions here in the 25th minute. Just under 25 minutes into this 45-minute first half, game number 2 on the National Soccer Network. Rivalry night. Two of the longest standing clubs in all of Michigan. Vardar, Michigan Wolves battling it out earlier in the U17 division of the National Academy League. Now we're in the NAL U19 division. So mostly high school seniors, sprinkled with some high school juniors battling out here in the pitch. Inside the Trinity Sports Zone on the campus of Schoolcraft College. Vardar earns the ball back, slots it well down that right side. Wolves able to knock it back to Sievert. Wolves try to build it again out of their back line. There's a serve out towards midfield. Just 2-1 in overall shots in favor of the Wolves. No real shots on frame. The ball served long down the right side. Devin McGinnis gets the ball. He checks it back into the midfield. There's dancing through traffic, unable to get the shot off, stripped away. McGinnis, three-time All-State player for Brighton High School. He's a very dangerous goal scorer. We talked about this in a previous broadcast. He missed over half of his senior campaign last fall at the high school circuit. Brighton really missed his services as he was an All-State Dream Team player as a junior. Injury-plagued senior who's still on the All-State list, just down a ways. The Michigan Wolves have earned a corner kick over the northwest side. Serve back in, and a shot well wide of goal. So the Wolves putting some more pressure on Vardar's back line. Getting the corner kick, unable to get a shot on target. So we're now in the 27th minute on NSN. Vardar moves it on their back line. Ball served. Michigan Wolves have tried to earn it back, got the ball closer to midfield. They've turned it over to themselves. Now Vardar's got some numbers. Both teams starting to play a little bit of too much long ball, not enough possession. Wolves have numbers. They're slotted to that far post. Watterson slips it back in the middle. No one makes a run to that left post. Lennon Bourget made a nice slot to the right side to Rourke Watterson. Watterson takes a touch, sends it back in the middle, but no one makes a run to that post. The Wolves do get the ball back, but and there's a header towards the goal. Lopez there to make the stop, diving to his left. That's the first shot on frame, first save for Lopez. It was somewhat an even game that first 10 or 12 minutes. The Michigan Wolves overall have picked up the pace. They've had more of the possession. 4-1 on total shots advantage. 1-0 on quarters, 1-0 with shots on frame. 29th minute, can the Michigan Wolves, can Vardar either side find a way to put the ball into the back of the net? No goals so far in this contest. Vardar looks to get the ball out of their half of the field. Cleared midfield and working the ball over to the far side. Wolves picked a pass off once again. Bourdais down the spine, looking for a teammate over to Watterson. Watterson had some space, decides to slide it off. There's Bourdais breaking free. That's in the back of the net. Shot number 5, 1-0 in favor of the Michigan Wolves in the 29th minute, just seconds away from this 29th minute. The ball is in the back of the net. Watch this replay. Watterson gets the ball to Landon Bordage. Bordage blasts one home into the back of the net. 1-0 in favor of Vardar in the 29th minute. Now in the minute number 30, so the Wolves finally breaking open this stalemate. They picked up the pace, applying a lot more pressure, able to get the goal. There's a yellow card. So first one that was issued to the Michigan Wolves here in the 30th. Referee kind of picked up his card and flashed it. I couldn't tell which number there was to, as a series of Michigan Wolves players had their backs turned and were jogging well away from the referee. But regardless, that is a booking against the Wolves. Free kick for Vardar, just about 5 yards into the Wolves' half of the field. They have to play it back, starting to build from their back line. The Michigan Wolves play with a little bit of an edge, up 1-0, as Vardar must climb back into this game. They have yet to get a shot on target, just one shot attempt early in this game as the Wolves pick off another pass. Watterson, crafty and nifty with the ball, working it out of the midfield. He's stripped. Wolves working the ball on that far side in front of their own bench. Ups to switch fields over to Owen Buckley. On the near side, Buckley slips it over to the side to his high school teammate McGinnis. Buckley trying to beat a defender just outside the box. There's a low cross through traffic. That shot was actually blocked, so Buckley gets a cross, a low one, into the traffic of the mixing bowl. Look at Bordage, who got a shot off. It was quickly blocked by a Vardar defender. So 6-1 in total shots in favor of the Michigan Wolves here in the U19 Mid-America North Conference of the National Academy League. Night has fallen here in southeastern Michigan, but we are indoors. Schoolcraft College in Livonia, Michigan, the Trinity Sports Dome. Michigan Wolves home complex here, indoor and outdoor fields at Schoolcraft. The Wolves players tripped up, so free kick coming up in Vardar territory. So Wolves have a chance to try to serve another one into the box. That is Rourke Watterson again. He's from Parma, Michigan, attends Parma Western High School. He will take this free kick. Sends it long into the box towards that right side. Lopez can't corral that shot. It was high above the crossbar, but he couldn't collect it. It goes out of play, so corner kick number 2 coming up for the Wolves. Looks like Buckley's jogging over to take this corner piece, so Rourke Watterson joins him in the corner. Now Watterson will take it. He's a left footer, so he'll try to bend this into the mixing bowl. Michigan Wolves up 1-0, 34th minute on the National Soccer Network. Watterson goes towards that near post, ball bouncing around. Goes off a Wolves player, so goal kick coming up for Vardar. They are down 1-0 here. 34th minute, trying to get a little bit of offense going. It's become somewhat stagnant. The Michigan Wolves, after about the 10th, 12th minute mark, have picked up the pace. They've controlled a lot of this game. Looking to get the sweep here today. And I mentioned earlier, Michigan Wolves took a 5-0 victory over Vardar in the U17 game. That game finished up about 7:50 p.m. This game kicked off at 8:11. Two 45-minute halves. We're down to about 11 minutes plus whatever stoppage time the officiating crew adds on at the end of this first half. Still plenty of time for either team to get a goal here in the first half. Vardar's going to have to find a way to keep possession and start building. They have not had a ton of success with the possession game here in this contest. So Brandon Tossi along that near side. He tries to slot the ball through. It's picked off. Again, Buckley gets the ball. He's looking for an open teammate. He has to find some real estate open. Slots the ball through. Looks like he was trying to get the ball up to number 7, Luis Maldonado, was passed a little bit off the mark. Vardar again will try to build off his back line. 35th minute, crossing in the minute number 36 on the National Soccer Network. Michigan Wolves, much like game number 1, they are forcing a ton of turnovers in this game. They're getting a lot of players involved. They are switching the fields, doing a good job of moving it left to right, right to left, using their full midfielder to full back line, getting involved in the play as they knock it back to Sievert, the goalkeeper. Let's get it over towards midfield. They're on the move once again. So McGinnis cuts it back towards the center of the park. He's tripped up. So that should be a free kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves. So Devil McGinnis was tripped. He cut back with his left foot, was looking to slot the ball or get a shot off. He earns the free kick. This is about 25 yards, pretty much dead on, maybe slightly right of center. The Wolves have a great chance. Do they try to bend this around the wall or over the wall, or do they slot it, chip it towards the 6? They have a lot of players stacked up at the edge of the box on that left side. Great opportunity, nevertheless, to see what the Wolves will do on this free kick. Set pieces can be dangerous. Watterson chips it high. That is well over the crossbar. Right idea. Trying to bend it up to the upper 90 on the left side, just a little too high. Michigan Wolves up 1-0 on the scoreboard where it matters most. They have a 7-1 overall shots advantage. 2-0 with shots on target, 2-0 on corner kicks, and just a pair of fouls against the Michigan Wolves. Outside of the first 10 minutes, the Wolves have dominated this game. We are now in the 38th minute. It's just under 8 minutes plus stoppage time left in the first half. Vardar picks off a pass. Now they get the ball inside Wolves field on the near side. Kai Nielsen, the Berkeley High School senior. He was an all-state first-team player this past fall. Very dangerous forward. Vardar needs to try to take advantage of his speed and footwork in this game. But Vardar just have not been consistently able to generate much in this game. Nielsen will attend the University of Michigan. He's opted not to play college soccer this fall, but nevertheless a very talented player. Some Division I and Division II schools looking at him previously. Ball's pushed long and out of harm's way, so Vardar unable to get a shot off on that attack. So we just crossed into the 39th minute here on the National Soccer Network. The Wolves make a couple more substitutions, so they are giving a lot of forwards and midfielders some rest, rotating every few minutes, getting everyone involved in this game. It's National Academy League Soccer, so these are all very well seasoned high school seniors and juniors. These players will play collegiately in their near futures. Has the the ball on that far side, trying to get something going as we're now in the 40th minute. It's been a night of frustrations for the boys in red and white, not just in this game, but game number 1. Michigan Wolves probably had 95% possession in that U17 division contest. 5-0 victors over Vardar in a similar fashion here in game number 2 in the U19 level. The Wolves have dominated most of this game. They do have some numbers as they're trying to slot the ball down the middle of the spine. Vardar gets it back. They look to build. They're down to about 5.5 minutes plus stoppage time on the end of the first half. Still plenty of time to create a chance and maybe we'll get an equalizer here late in the first half. Vardar gets it on the far right side. Stephen Arcee's slide trying to get a first shot on goal, unsuccessful on that attack as the Wolves clear the ball over midfield. They're going to throw it in front of the Vardar bench. 41st minute. Getting down to the business end of half number 1. Again, Dan Sticker, the director of news here at the National Soccer Network, glad to be on the mic solo style here tonight for this doubleheader between Vardar and the Michigan Wolves. The pleasure of also calling a couple of Michigan Wolves games last weekend as well here at Schoolcraft College. Those games were outdoors. The Wolves looked to try to create another chance. The ball slided to the far side. Buckley serves it back in. There's a shot about 5 yards over the crossbar. So goal kick coming up for Vardar. They finally got the ball down deep in the Wolves territory. The Wolves withstood that pressure, got the ball downfield in a hurry, getting shot attempt number 8. Just not putting that on target. So still 1-0 here, 42nd minute. Either team able to find a little bit of late first half magic to score a goal, as the Wolves did earn a free kick off that. Player knocked down hard to the ground. That through ball deflected away to the far right side by Vardar. Vardar trying to work it out of their back line. They're down to about 3.5 minutes left in the first half, down 1-0 on the scoreboard. Vardar continues to pressure down that near sideline, number 4. Up to Ruzak Dorsey, trying to find a little bit of real estate. He's knocked down to the turf. Referee says play on. There was some contact on players from both sides. No whistle blown. Vardar gets the ball back. There's a shot on target. Sievert has to dive high and punch that over the crossbar. That ball was knuckling towards the left post. Let's take a look at that replay. This is off a counterattack, a steal. Zoran Georgievich with the shot attempt. That is the first shot on goal this first half by Vardar. They've earned their first corner kick of the game. That corner served in the mixing bowl, cleared away the Michigan Wolves. So we're just seconds away from the 44th minute. So we're down to just around 2 minutes plus whatever stoppage time the referee adds on to this first half. Not a lot of time, but still enough time for either team to get off a shot attempt, perhaps put one in the back of the net here late in the half. The Wolves finally clear the ball out of their half of the field. The Vardar was pressuring here the last few minutes, and then Lopez has to come off his line outside the box. Kind of a sliding kick out towards midfield. The Wolves retain it once again. There's a long shot from about 40 yards out. One hopper into the arms of Henry Lopez. So Wolves, 9 total shots, only 3 on target. Lopez has stops in 2 or 3 of those shots. Vardar works it on that far right side. 45th minute now. Feel free to visit our YouTube chat room. The Michigan Wolves, 71% of the fans watching have picked the Wolves to win this game. The rest of them have picked either Vardar or this game ending in a draw. Wolves putting up some pressure once again. So we have officially crossed in the stoppage time at the end of the first half. We'll see how much time the referee adds on. There was a pair of yellows and one goal and a couple of minor delays off a couple of collisions. Not enough to add too many minutes on the stoppage time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as our multitude of social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can also visit our national news site at thenationalsoccernetwork.com, where thousands of articles of all levels of soccer across that U.S. soccer pyramid, from pros down to youth club and high school and everywhere in between. Professional and pre-professional, amateur, college soccer as well. We're now about a minute and 20 into stoppage time. The Wolves have just earned their third corner kick, so perhaps one last time to be able to serve this into the box to create a little bit of magic. Bouncing around the box. The Wolves retain possession. There's Benji Cook. He's trying to find a little bit of space. There's a shot right into the arms of Henry Lopez. So Cook has been dangerous in this game. Lopez there, that's his third official save, and that looks like that should do it for half number one in game number two. Up on that scoreboard, the Michigan Wolves lead arch rival Vardar 1-0. in the U19 age group of the National Academy League. I'm Dan Stickrad. We will go into the halftime break on the National Soccer Network. Don't go anywhere. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go. We'll catch you after a word from our sponsors.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
In our online world, we have access to endless communication channels. But despite our online connections, one dynamic will always separate the value in a phone call from an email, and that's relationship. Growing businesses and customer relationships live and die by the phone system, and an enterprise phone solution is the key to bridging the communication gap between you and your customers. At Spectrum VoIP, we exist to make sure your communication is seamless, consistent, and reliable. With simple pricing and reliable support, we dramatically reduce your telecommunication expenses. We come to you to install, train, and onboard your team, and our 24/7 support team is always available to help. Our interactive web portal has endless features that include the real-time data you need, the ability to record, download, and re-listen to phone calls, and sending SMS text messages straight from your computer. And the best part is that all of this is available in the palm of your hand. Since reliability is one of your top priorities, we make it one of ours. So what makes us different? We don't just connect your phones. We power your connection with your customers, your team, and your next level as a business.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
In our online world, we have access to endless communication channels. But despite our online connections, one dynamic will always separate the value in a phone call from an email, and that's relationship. Growing businesses and customer relationships live and die by the phone system, and an enterprise phone solution is the key to bridging the communication gap between you and your customers. At Spectrum VoIP, we exist to make sure your communication is seamless, consistent, and reliable. With simple pricing and reliable support, we dramatically reduce your telecommunication expenses. We come to you to install, train, and onboard your team, and our 24/7 support team is always available to help.
Welcome back to the National Soccer Network on the campus of Schoolcraft College. Livonia, Michigan is the location. We are on the YouTube and the Roku TV channels with the National Soccer Network. Dan Stickrad set the call half number 2 of game number 2. And we're underway. Up in that score with the Michigan Wolves. Took a 1-0 edge, courtesy in the 29th minute of Benji Cook, knocking home a cross from Rourke Watterson. Game's only goal. Michigan Wolves, after the first 10 minutes, though, picked up the pace. They have a 10-2 overall shots advantage in this game. 4-1 with shots on goal, 3-1 on corners. So 1-0 on that scoreboard. Plenty of time for Vardar to make some adjustments here at the start of the second half to get back into this game. So Steve Arce, the Vardar coach, standing with his arms crossed in front of the bench. Already whistled for a foul here in the first minute of the second half. Vardar find a way to earn a draw or even a victory in this game. The Michigan Wolves prevailed 5-0 in the first game here on NSN. It was in the NAL U17 division. Vardar looking to get the ball over midfield. There's a long ball slided through. Vardar switching fields, trying to get a lot of players involved in the attack. They were struggling there in the first half of sustaining consistent possession in that game. But a Vardar player is tripped up about 30 yards out in front of the goal. So a dangerous free kick coming up for the boys in red and white. Both teams whistled for one foul here in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Vardar will have a free kick left to center, but about 30 yards out. A little bit less than 30 yards. There's a free kick into the box that is wide right of the goal. Both teams made substitution changes. There's 0 in net for the Wolves. Don't have the 0 on this roster. Looks like Kiba Roshik, Waterford Kettering senior. Now in goal for Vardar. Roshik was an all-state first-team player in Division II this past fall. That ball kind of squirts off of Roshik's arms. He's able to smother up the rebound. That was a dangerous play as the ball kind of squirted out of Roshik's arms and rolled about 5 yards to his left, but he came off his line to caroom that loose ball. Roshik, a great story. He played with MLS Next his first 3 years of high school, opted to play high school ball his senior year. Helped in a huge resurgence of soccer at Waterford Kettering, which had kind of been down the last decade plus, and he was absolutely brilliant, one of the best goalkeepers in the state of Michigan, the high school circuit. He was in net for half number 2 here for Vardar. Cook works it down that far left side, trying to find a little bit of space, collided with a Vardar player. Both players kind of shoving back and forth. Referee has said play on at this point. Vardar able to clear it. Michigan Wolves work it out towards midfield. Being patient, slowly building their attack. They got that 1-0 advantage up on the scoreboard. Courtesy of a Benji Cook goal in the 29th minute. It's just the Michigan Wolves' second shot on frame. It found the back of the net. They've had 4 total shots on frame and 10 shots overall in this contest. Have numbers on that far right side, looking to try to get the ball towards the box. Owen Buckley dancing through traffic. He's knocked to the ground for a second, gets back up, but the referee has blown his whistle. It should be a free kick for the Wolves. You see Rourke Watterson, number 22, jogging over. He takes a lot of the restarts. He was not active last Sunday when the Michigan Wolves played the Chicago Sockers. Kind of the crafty field general for the Michigan Wolves. He stands over the ball, so free kick coming up. It's about 5 to 7 yards wide right of the penalty box. Watterson swings in a left footer. That's well past the far post. Redirected towards the goal, and Roshik comes off the ball and sweeps up the loose ball before a shot is taken. And both teams changing goalkeepers here in the second half. The referee having a long conversation with 5 different Vardar players. The referee does throw the ball over towards that corner flag, so Watterson just took a corner kick a minute ago from the right side, will place the ball near the corner flag in the northeast corner of the Trinity Sports Dome. He will take this set piece from the corner. That is into the box, bouncing around once again. Cook corrals the loose ball. He gets a shot off. That's off a defender. Vardar quickly clears it out of harm's way, but the Wolves, again, very dangerous here in the first 7 minutes and change of the second half. Unable to add on a second goal. They would love to add an insurance tally and continue the way they've been playing, as they have dominated in sorts of this contest. Vardar gets it on that far left side. Ball served out on the far left side once again, giving chase, number 10, Davis Van Every. That ball's shot towards the framework. Caden Whipple there to make the stop. So Vardar only had 2 total shots and 1 on frame in the first half. Do have a shot on goal here early in the second half. We just crossed into the 54th minute here about 20 seconds ago. Michigan Wolves still lead 1-0 here on the National Soccer Network. Dan Stickrad, glad to be part of this twin bill set on the network. NAL arch rivals Vardar Michigan Wolves. What a way, and the Vardar gets the ball into the back of the net. Looked like Kyle Nielsen, the Berkeley senior, broke free through traffic and tucks a left footer into the net. Let's watch that replay. Kind of long serve down that left side. Chris Hernandez, left-footed, kind of a chip shot towards the left side, and Kyle Nielsen, an all-state first-teamer on the high school circuit, gets a hold of that left footer into the back of net. We are all level in the 55th. So Vardar gets a couple of chances about a minute apart. The second one results in the game-tying goal. Even though the Michigan Wolves controlled a lot of this contest, Vardar has found a way to get back into the game. Now the question remains, will they be able to sustain that momentum? That was a great effort. Combination play between Davis Van Every and Kyle Nielsen. Nielsen getting the goal for the boys in red and white. Vardar ties it up at 1 apiece. Michigan Wolves have a restart. Vardar picks off that through ball. Said it a million times in my life, but I'll say it a million times more. Soccer, not necessarily how many chances, how many shots you attempt, how many set pieces, how many corners. It is a game about finishing. You may not get very many chances in the game. As a player, you might get 1 chance. Chances have been few and far between for Vardar, yet they have found a way here early in the second half to level this game up at 1 apiece. In a game where the Michigan Wolves have controlled a lot of the contest, they find themselves in a 1-1 stalemate. Now the Wolves do have the ball down that in the far left corner. Vardar intercepts it. Watterson picks off that clear attempt. Watterson gets back inside the box. He sends it through traffic. Kiba Rushek there to punch that cross away. The Wolves do retain, picking off that clear. Wolves back to playing some high pressure. You got Watterson, Nyembo there on that far side. Nyembo and Buckley have been dangerous. Devin McGinnis still a little bit hampered with some injuries. He's played some minutes here tonight. Vardar on the attack once again. The Wolves able to clear. Ball slotted over to the Benji Cook on the left side. That's chipped back in towards the box. Bordesia giving chase. Now Cook gets it back in the corner, trying to get through the defense. Ball is actually knocked off the foot of Benji Cook of the Michigan Wolves. So Vardar will throw in deep in their own territory. They're looking to try to get this ball out of harm's way. Just tied the game up in the 55th. Watterson picks out the pass, gets the ball in the middle. He's got a little bit of real estate. He's tripped up. Referee says play on. So nice kind of a tackle of a Vardar defender sticking his foot in there momentum-wise, stopping Watterson from taking a shot. That ball served out. So Vardar on the attack once again, 59th minute now. The ball looked like it went over the end line, so Kyle Nielsen kind of jogging over there now. He retreats towards the goal mouth area, so it will be a corner kick coming up for Vardar, just their second of the match, first of the second half, here in the 59th minute. Number 13, Cullen Wicca here to take this corner kick from the right side. He sends in a low bender in the box that is quickly cleared off the header by the Michigan Wolves. Vardar does retain out near midfield. Second half in the Michigan Soccer Network, just crossing into the 60th minute. There's a long through ball way too high, as you saw a couple of Vardar players making runs. Ball sailed harmlessly out of the field of play. The Wolves sent it deep into Vardar territory. A little bit of a momentum change here after Vardar was able to get that equalizer. Both teams have kind of traded off attacks here in the second half after the Michigan Wolves dominated much of the first half. The Wolves do have some numbers. That's Cook down the middle. He puts a shot towards frame. Kuba Murashek there to make the stop. The ball kicks back out again. There's another shot on target. Murashek there to make two quick saves. Steele, Wolves trying to penetrate once again. Vardar just sends it long out over midfield to kind of get the ball out of harm's way. The Wolves are picking up the pace. They had a couple shots off in less than a minute. The Wolves player is tripped up and on the turf. That looked like Buckley went down for the Wolves. Number 17, Joseph Salai there pleading his case with the referee. The referee is not going to reverse his call. They never do reverse calls. That was clearly a foul against Vardar. The Wolves will take this set piece just inside their own half of the field. Build it out of the back, but this game was tied up here in the 55th minute. For those of you joining us late, 29th minute goal by Benji Cook of the Michigan Wolves. They led 1-0 at the halftime break, and here about 6 minutes ago, Vardar was able to net an equalizer with Kai Nielsen putting the left footer into the back of the net, courtesy of a Davis Van Every feed inside the box. So we are all level one apiece, 62nd minute on the National Soccer Network. Soccer lives, breathes, and thrives across the country. We announced in late 2024 that the Michigan Soccer Network would over into the National Soccer Network. We have games all across the country here in 2025. There's a shot on target. Shot from about 35 yards out. Katie Whipple had to dive to his right to punch that out of the danger zone. So corner kick coming up for Vardar. Only had one corner kick in the first half. Now they have a pair here in the second half. That ball is bent in towards the box. Sails through traffic. No player from either team able to get a ball, a foot, or a header on that ball as it rolls over the end line. So goal kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves. They were in control in that first half. They came out a little bit more aggressive than Vardar to start the second half. The Vardar started to level up play, and they were finally able to get the equalizer in the 55th. So now crossing into 64th minute here at the Trinity Sports Dome on the campus of Schoolcraft College. We are in a 1-to-1 stalemate. It's become more of a chess match. Teams have kind of traded off attacks, traded off possession. Been a couple of nice saves by both goalkeepers here in the second half. So will either team find a little bit of magic, maybe a brilliant strike from a player in white, from a player in red? We'll see what happens here. We're down to about 27 minutes left, plus stoppage time in the second half. As Vardar gets into the box, there's a shot on target, stopped. Whipple kind of stops the ball between his legs that was going for that near post. Take a look at the replay. Davis Van Every got the shot off after he served the ball by Rishi Jinka. There's a corner kick into the goal mouth area. Whipple there to make the stop. Vardar, a much different team here in the second half. So Wolves look to get going on the counterattack here on the near side. Devlin McGinnis from Brighton High School serves it into the box. Deflected off a Vardar defender. So less than 30 seconds after Vardar has a corner kick, the Michigan Wolves will have their first corner kick of the second half. Looks like Cook, number 3, there to take the corner kick for the Michigan Wolves. That's served back into the box. Ball bouncing around. There is a collision, so a Vardar player kind of knocked to the turf. Looks like number 16. Japik Cardet with the worst of that collision. Free kick coming up for Vardar. We're now in the 66th minute, so about 24 minutes left here in the second half. 1-to-1 stalemate. Just about 5.5 minutes, or 10.5 minutes ago, Vardar evened this game up at 1 apiece after they fell behind 1-0 at the break. The Michigan Wolves scoring in the 29th minute. Wolves get the ball back on that right side, trying to build some momentum once again. Buckley slots it through. That is picked off by a Vardar back. Vardar pushes it wide down that left side. A back and forth affair here in half number 2 of game number 2. National Academy League Mid-American North Conference. This is the U19 level. Arch rivals, 2 of the longest standing clubs, youth clubs in all of Michigan, battling it out here at Schoolcraft College. Talked about that in the game, first game. Talked about that then during the first half of this contest. A lot of history from Vardar, a lot of history from Michigan Wolves. Even though the club scene has expanded greatly over the last several decades, over 200 some odd clubs in the state of Michigan, you have a multitude of layers, pyramid of the soccer pyramid, I like to call it, of the youth club scene. You have over 520 boys high school teams now in Michigan. So the game keeps expanding, but these 2 clubs have as much history as anybody. They have both won national championships over the last several decades. McGinnis gets the ball down to that far right side. Picked off by Vardar, who moves the ball out towards midfield once again. So neither team able to consistently control the ball as the Michigan Wolves did in the first half. Vardar gets it over midfield. And Every slots it over to the far side. Vardar's doing a better job of spreading the field, getting a lot more players involved there. Overall, their possession game has been much more assertive in half number 2. Another player falls to the turf, so this should be a free kick coming up for Vardar. It's right near the end line, or excuse me, sidelines, but this is about 30, 35 yards out. Great opportunity. Vardar can try to serve this into the box and see if they can't Have some players make runs at the post, flick it over into the mixing bowl, try to get a shot off of this set piece. There she is, served right into the middle of the box, punched away by Whipple. Plenty of contact there. Looks like a Michigan Wolves player's down on the turf. A little bit of pain. I can't see exactly what number that is. 26. Devin McGinnis, again, we talked about that in the first half. He missed a ton of time during the high school circuit. His senior year this fall, they missed his scoring abilities. He is a big, strong, fast, physical player, but he has been hampered by injuries all school year, in high school, in club. He was knocked to the turf. He's limping a little bit, so it looks like they'll pull him off the field again. Clearly frustrated. He was taken down on the turf. He's walking off on his own accord as we just crossed into the 70th minute. McGinnis is out there. Take a look at him, make sure he's okay. But about 15 yards into their own territory, Michigan Wolves will have a set piece, so they'll try to serve this either down one of the sidelines or try to knock it long to a player. Delay. There it is. That's a long ball down to that left side. A player from both teams get locked up. There's a yellow card. Looks like number 20 issued for the Michigan Wolves. Zach Pavlik in the books with the yellow in the 70th minute. Michigan Wolves have picked up a pair of yellow cards in this game, one in the first half, one in the second half. We're down to about 19 and a half minutes plus whatever stoppage time the referee adds on at the end of the second half. Still plenty of time for either team to strike goal with a go-ahead goal. Vardar looking to clear. Michigan Wolves playing a little bit of high pressure. Vardar gets it out towards midfield. They will build once again, trying to find a way to go ahead for the first time in this game. They were down 1-0 at the break. Netted an equalizer here about 10 minutes into the second half. All sent over to the near side. Number 22 crosses the back into the box. It's Krishchenko with that cross. He had a lot of real estate on that far right side to take a couple extra touches. He opted to just quickly serve it long. Ball rolls out of bounds on that far side. So goal kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves. Sends it long. There's another yellow issue to the Michigan Wolves. Couldn't catch what number that was. That was actually issued to a Vardar player here in the 73rd. So Wolves take the short free kick along that far right side. They're working it down that flank. Get the ball in the box. So Vardar able to clear on that attack. Vardar trying to go 1 versus 3. That ball stripped away, so the Wolves will build again out towards midfield. 73rd minute, Michigan. Rivalry game between Vardar and the Michigan Wolves. You look at the college circuit, you got like Michigan, Michigan State. On In the high school circuit, you got a lot of big-time rivalries in the state of Michigan. Things like Troy Athens, Rochester Adams, Salem versus Canton, Portage Central, Portage Northern, and on down the list. But in club soccer, Vardar, Michigan Wolves, a lot of history. I wouldn't say a lot of hatred, but it is a rivalry game. It sometimes can bring out the best or worst in you. This game is still at a 1-1 stalemate, 74th minute. Both teams trying to build out their attack to try to build for a great go-ahead goal. Will there be one in this contest? 64% of our fans on our YouTube channel are picking the Wolves to win. The rest of the field is either picking Vardar or this game to end in the ties. There's a shot wide right of goal. Number 13, Colin Wicca, had a little bit of space on corks a left footer from about 25 yards out, but not on target. Vardar's actually held a 5-3 shots advantage in the second half. 5-2 is shots on frame and 4-1 on corners. So we are now into the 75th minute. 9:38 p.m. Dan Stickerad with the National Soccer Network. Glad to be part of this game set here on the campus of Schoolcraft College. There's a collision near midfield. This will be a free kick coming up for Vardar. Camera flashed onto another game just for about 3 seconds there. Not sure what game or what state that was in. And on the National Soccer Network, there are games near and far. If you are a soccer of pre-professional amateur soccer, look no other place than the National Soccer Network. The League for Clubs, USL League 2, USLW League, Women's Premier Soccer League, Midwest Premier League, United Women's Soccer, literally thousands of games across the country on the network or affiliated networks here in the spring and summer of 2025. Also, feel free to like and share our social media pages and our YouTube channel. We're on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. The National Soccer Network website went live here at the beginning of January as we transformed from the Michigan Soccer Network into the National Soccer Network. Glad everyone ride for the ride tonight. Along for the ride as we continue to expand across the beautiful country we call home in the United States. So games today in New Jersey, all the way out to California, down into Texas, Georgia. Over 30 games on the network this week, and there will be games, there'll be days this summer we have over 50, close to 50 games in one game. There's a shot wide right, a collision inside the box. Keeping Rasha came out off his line. The Wolves player kind of broke free in the space, a little collision. Trying to see if that's Buckley or someone else down for the Michigan Wolves. Clearly in pain. Perhaps had the wind knocked out of him. See Devin McGinnis over there to kind of help his fallen friend off the turf. That was indeed Owen Buckley. So Buckley and Devin McGinnis, high school teammates out at Brighton High School, about 20 miles west of where we're at here in Livonia, Michigan. 78th minute now on the campus of Schoolcraft College. We're inside the Trinity Sports Dome, part of this National Academy League broadcast on the National Soccer Network. Been a couple-minute delay here as Buckley kind of limping along the pitch. He's having a conversation with the center official. So goal kick coming up there. Was that collision? The referee did not call a foul on a player from either team as the Wolves starting to pick up the pace again. They're getting the ball just outside the box, now inside the box on that far side. There's a long serve into the box. There's a header towards the framework, and Cuba Mroshek there to make a diving save to his right. He used every bit of that 6'4" frame to push that ball out of the goal mouth there. There was a corner kick coming up, the second of the second half of the Michigan Wolves, as we're now in the 79th minute. Now they actually ruled a goal kick. I thought that went off a Vardar player. The referee said otherwise. A strange turn of events. Mroshek clearly made that save. The ball kind of went along that goal line. I thought it went off a Vardar player. The referee said otherwise. So Wolves unable to get a second shot opportunity off that attack as they've turned it over. Vardar getting numbers down that far left side. They got the ball deep into Michigan Wolves territory in a hurry. It's 80th minute now. So we're down to about 10.5 minutes left in the second half, plus whatever stoppage time is added on the end of this half as Vardar gets it out towards the top of the box. Pushing it side to sides. No shot yet on this attack. There's finally a cross into traffic. Ball kind of bouncing off players from both teams. Before Vardar gets a shot pushed wide right of the net in the 80th. So in the second half, Vardar has picked up the pace. They have a 6-4 shots advantage and 4-3 with shots on frame, 4-2 on corner kicks. Michigan Wolves took a 1-0 advantage in the 29th before Vardar leveled the game up in the 55th. That's where we stand up in that scoreboard where it matters the most. Both teams have had some great chances here in the second half, nevertheless. Michigan Wolves look to get it over midfield once again. There is a foul. Looks like Buckley knocked down on the turf once again. He's been a little bruised and battered here tonight. Vardar whistled for the set piece. This looks like just around midfield. Maybe about 2 yards inside Michigan Wolves territory. 81st minute. We are only a few seconds away from the 82nd minute. Inside 10 minutes left in this contest. Here on the National Soccer Network, Dan Sturkrad once again on the solo call this evening. To thank our group of producers back home at the Shelby Township Studios, Brianna Turner, Jonathan Turner, and a host of other talented producers producing games all over the country here on the National Soccer Network. Shout out to our camera crews that are near and far in a multitude of states tonight. Again, from California to Jersey and everywhere. Between that is a free kick served deep into the box. There's a header towards the framework. Adrian Iemo just served sub back into the game, broke free. Just couldn't corral that bouncing ball that was near the left post by Cuban Mroshek, the goalkeeper from Vardar. Dangerous opportunity for the Michigan Wolves, unable to get a shot off. They're down to about 8 minutes left to try to go ahead a second time. Vardar tied it up. Ball still bouncing around. Knocked out to the top of the box by Watt. Warwick Watterson, number 22, who had that shot deflected. And there's a yellow card. I believe that was issued to number 3, Benji Cook, of the Michigan Wolves. Cook was the goal scorer in the 29th. He knocked home a Watterson pass to put Michigan Wolves up 1-0. To say on the other side of the big pond here inside the Trinity Sports Dome on the campus of Schoolcraft College, Vardar was able to level game up against their arch rivals in the 55th. That's where we stand. We're down in the inside the final 7.5 minutes. Will there be a moment of glory for either team? Will we end in a stalemate? We'll see how these final minutes play out as Michigan Wolves get the ball deep in the Vardar territory. The Waterston slots it over to the far side. The offside whistle went up. Adrian Nyembo, the Detroit Country Day senior, kind of throwing his arms up in frustration, almost arguing that call. It was a nice slotted pass by Waterson, just a stride off sides. First time the Wolves have been whistled for offside here in the second half, but we're down to about 6.5 minutes. Time not on the side of either team. Still plenty of time to get a goal. As Cook is knocked down to the turf, so free kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves. The way the first half was played out, the Michigan Wolves were up 1-0, but they controlled most of that first half. Vardar has clearly leveled things up here in the second half. They tied the game up here about 19 minutes ago. Michigan Wolves have picked up the pace the last 2 or 3 minutes. They're on the move once again on that far side, trying to get a goal-ahead goal. There's a long serve into the box, well beyond the box. Pushed down to that left corner. And Vardar making chase. Ball skips out of bounds. So Cuba Roshek, the All-State goalkeeper from Waterford Kettering, set to take this goal kick. Serves it long, deep in the Michigan Wolves territory. Wolves clear it out towards midfield. All bouncing around to both sides. It's regulation, there will be no overtime, so no golden goal, but to the players, when you're playing an arch rival and you're inside the final 5 minutes, a goal at this time of the game would feel like a golden goal. If you can put one in the back of the net and your defense can make it stand. So both teams would love nothing more than to strike gold here in the waning minutes of the second half. We're at the 85-21 mark. So inside 5 minutes is all left in this contest, plus maybe a couple minutes of stoppage time. There was a few cards, a 2-minute delay for a minor injury of the Michigan Wolves players. The Wolves intercept this. Ball kind of squeaked by the Vardar defender. Now Cook has the ball outside the box. He's looking for a teammate, knocks it over to Waterson. Waterson chips it wide right to the goal. So Waterson had a little bit of space, not a ton of pace on that shot as it sails harmlessly out of bounds. So we are crossing into the 87th minute of this rivalry match. Vardar, Michigan Wolves, they know each other well. Both teams, we are tied at 1 apiece. They are trying to get one late goal to put their team in the driver's seat. Will either side able to provide some late game magic, some late game heroics as Vardar gets the ball down the center of the park. Nielsen trying to slot it through. He's denied. Vardar gets it back. They knock it out to the far right side. Over to Joseph Salai. He sends it in the box. Caden Whipple there to room that cross. So we are down to about 3.5 minutes. Michigan Wolves again on the attack down that far right side. Nyembo finding some space in the middle of the park. He's looking to either get a shot off or slide it over. Vardar in traffic. He's dancing with the ball, trying to find a move. His shot's deflected. Waterson chases it down. Wolves knock it back out closer to midfield. We're down to about 3 minutes now. Getting the ball down to Waterson on that right side. He's stripped. Vardar on the move once again. A lot of energy being spilled in the second half. You wouldn't expect anything more than in a rivalry game. Both teams starting to look a little bit gassed. The passes aren't as crisp as they were here a few minutes ago. The Wolves player is knocked to the turf, so free kick for the Michigan Wolves. 87-41 is where we're at, so 2.5 minutes left plus stoppage time. Michigan Wolves have a free kick coming up in Vardar territory over in front of the Wolves bench. As we're only seconds away from crossing into the 88th minute here on the National Soccer Network. Time not on the side for either team. Michigan Wolves, they sent a long ball down that far side. They kind of redirected back to where the initial free kick was taken, so a redo. And there's a long cross into the box. Bourdays with a shot, that's crossed over. The ball goes out of bounds. Adrian Ayembo was left on the doorstep. He just reached forward, got a little bit of the foot on it. It did deflect off a Vardar defender, so not a ton of pace on that shot, but a timely stop by a Vardar defender. And this is another corner kick, number 6 coming up for the Michigan Wolves. We're 10 seconds away from the 90th minute. Buckley in the far corner. He's dancing through traffic, trying to get through. Watterson next to him, and Buckley breaks free, beats the defender. Wolves get it back. There's a through by Watterson. That is stripped away. Vardar holding on here in the waning minute. Vardar sends it out towards midfield. The Wolves send it back. Okay. Free kick for Vardar. We are down to the last 15 seconds. See how much stoppage time is added as Vardar takes this long free kick deep in the Michigan Wolves territory. They've earned another free kick. So we are officially crossed into stoppage time. This is a golden opportunity coming up for Vardar. About 30 yards out in front of the goal. They had a free kick in their own territory, served deep. The Wolves fouled again. So Vardar, we are 20 seconds into stoppage time. And if you're Vardar, you're thinking go to goal. Either put one with pace towards the corners, chip it to the 6, but you're almost out of time. You gotta make this opportunity count. So there's a serve down the left side. Even Vardar's keeper, Morshek, was pushed up. He actually got a head on that. He collided with a Wolves player. Vardar player went down to the turf as well. Will be a goal kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves, and we are just about ready to cross into the 92nd. So 90 plus 2 is where we're about to cross into. 1-1 up on that scoreboard. This has become a classic Vardar Michigan Wolves battle. National Academy League U19 here on the National Soccer Network. Don't go anywhere after this game. We have a multitude of games across the country, especially on the West Coast. Close to a dozen games kicking off at 10 p.m. here on the National Soccer Network. Vardar sends it long. The referee did look at his watch here a few seconds ago. Vardar sends it in the box once again. That ball skips off a Vardar player, number 17, Joseph Shalai. He was unable to corral that. Sent back into the box. Caden Whipple snares that cross. It was near the near post. So we're now about ready to cross into the 93rd. So we are 2 minutes in the stoppage time. And there's another yellow card. Looks like that one's against number 10 for Vardar, Davis Van Every. He had the assist on the game-tying goal back in the 55th. Well, 92 plus minutes into this game. So we are about 2.5 minutes into stoppage time off a yellow. Deep, long free kick by the Michigan Wolves. They are making one last desperation effort to get off a late chance here. Not a lot of time left on this game, maybe a minute, maybe 2. The referee did not signal how many minutes he was putting back on the clock. There was a 2-minute delay when Michigan Wolves' Olin Buckley went down the turf with a minor injury. There has been 4 yellow cards in the second half. 1 goal by Vardar, which was the equalizer. Amble works it out towards midfield. Michigan Wolves trying to get the ball down that right side. Watterson had the ball. It was stripped clear. The Wolves putting a lot of pressure on that back line. Nyambo picks off a pass here, 93rd minute. We're in the 4th minute of stoppage time as Nyambo is kind of knocked down on the turf. It's the 8th foul against Vardar here in the second half. If it is whistled a foul, Nyambo, the Detroit Country Day senior, a little bit of pain. I'm not sure if that was from the collision or off a cramp. So it should be a free kick coming up for the Michigan Wolves, and now we are about to cross into the 5th minute of stoppage time. Wolves holding the ball in the corner. I don't know why you wouldn't try to serve that into the box to try to get a header or volley. They used a short free kick, but they did earn a corner kick, so we are down to the waning seconds. Wolves just keeping the ball down in the corner. They're trying to settle for a draw. We're 1-1. Vardar gets it back off the throw-in. There's a steal by Nyambo inside the box. And that is all she wrote. So about 4.5 minutes into stoppage time, the referee has blown his whistle. We are at the conclusion of the second game of the U19 National Academy League rivalry match. Ends in a draw. Michigan Wolves won, Vardar won. Dan Stickrad, the National Director of News for the National Soccer Network. Thanks for joining us for this doubleheader here on the network. We're going to head out west to a League for Clubs matchup set to kick off here in a couple of minutes. Once again, your final score in game number 2. Michigan Wolves won, Vardar won. Have a great weekend, everybody.